That says live. We're live on YouTube, live on Instagram. Okay. We have to make sure our camera guy clicks the right button.
Just click done.
And we're done. No, we're not done. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour. Welcome to a la carte cooking happy hour. It is Sunday. It is October. We have football on. We watched F1 this morning super early. The race started at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They raced in Istanbul today, so we had a great time watching that. But you are here for happy hour. I'm curious, how many of you made the whiskey sour last weekend or this week? Well, you'll have to tell me if anybody in the comments made that. If anybody comments, type in the comments so we can see if you made that. That is a really good drink. If you haven't made that, after the live, I'll be sure to put it up. I think it'll go up here. I'll put a link up there to it. It's last Sunday's video. It was so good and not eggy at all. So we're very excited for that one. But today, because we're in October, pumpkins are starting to surface. We're going to make it's a little bit of a spin on Starbucks. So Starbucks has this cold brew with a pumpkin cold foam on top. We're going to do that, but we're going to do a happy hour alcoholic beverage with it. So our version of it. We're going to use whiskey, regular whiskey. We're going to use peanut butter whiskey, my dad's favorite. We're going to use Kahlua or a coffee liqueur. We're going to use the coffee liqueur. Hugh, I want to say is how you say that name. I could absolutely be botching that up, but it is a coffee liqueur. And then we're going to make, right now, using our Vitamix, the pumpkin cream. So this is going to be not a whipped cream. It's a cold foam, you'll see. So the recipe is if you are watching on YouTube, the recipe is in the description. So if you're following along and you have these ingredients, we would love for you to make it with us. We're going to do 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. We tried this yesterday. Oh, it's so good. We have sweetened condensed milk. This recipe worked out really, really well, so we are going to stick with it. 1/2 cup of sweetened condensed milk. I'm just going to put it all into the measuring cup here. I'm looking at the measurements on my side. It's only on one side, so you don't see them. 1/2 cup. I know that seems like a lot, but this is the only sweetener that we're using here, so use that 1/2 cup. If you don't want it as sweet, you can totally dial it back. So this is 1.5 cups of our liquids, sweetened condensed milk, and heavy whipping cream. All right, so there is that. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. Now, when you are shopping for this, if you're not making your own homemade, we used canned. You can totally do your own homemade. Be sure to get pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie filling. It is a different flavor. Now, you could totally try pumpkin pie filling, but for this particular recipe, we're adding in the spices, so use pureed pumpkin. And let me get my spatula here to get the rest of this out. There we go. And if anybody has questions that I can answer while we're working here, give a shout out and we will answer them along the way. Let's get the 1/2 and 1/2 out, or the heavy cream out of the way. Oh, let's do our spices first so we don't get it wet and then go into the dry. Pumpkin pie spice. So we like to get it in the bulk and refill our spice container. How are we doing on Instagram? Does anybody have questions there? They're usually really active there. All right, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice for the spiciness here. There we go. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You can use Madagascar vanilla. This is just what I use in cookies. There we go. Okay. Put this lid on here. We are not going to use a high speed. We're going to use a lower speed on our Vitamix. So we're using the air disc. If you guys have the air disc, this is the container that you're going to want to use. It is literally, I should have showed you before I put it in. It's literally a disc in there rather than blades. So we're going to start it on one. And you can see it's starting to pull everything in. It's probably a little hard for you to see on YouTube and on Instagram how it's folding in. But we're going to do 4+, so 4.5. And it goes pretty quick on how it comes together. So there's 4 little peaks, and then it literally stops moving. Can they see that on there? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So it's getting there. It's getting pretty thick. I think it takes about 30 seconds is what I did last night to finally, once we're up to speed, to get nice and firm. We are almost there. And it literally kind of whoop in the center. Now, it's not firm like whipped cream. We're not making whipped cream here. We're making a cold foam. So it's going to get a little on the thicker side, but it's still going to be creamy. Almost there. I want to cheat and go to 5. And it's looking pretty, oh, there it goes. And I'm going to show you guys. Ooh, this is so pretty. It's like pillows. Can you see?
Oh, yeah. Turn them more.
Ooh. It's going to start sliding. So you can see the little pillows that the cold foam makes. Again, it's not whipped cream. It is going to be a little bit thicker. Let me get a fresh one. Fresh spatula. Okay, so we have our pumpkin cream ready to go. Let's get our cocktails. I'm going to make one for myself and one for Wesley since he's running my camera equipment today. We have our cubes. This is the one I made. This is the one Wesley made. You can see who's better at making these. Okay, it's equal parts of all of the mixers that we're using. So we're using regular whiskey right here. This is actually a small batch whiskey. Use whichever kind of whiskey that you'd like. We're going to do 1 ounce of our small batch whiskey. So there's that one in there. Making 2 cocktails. All right, that's our whiskey. Now we're going to do our peanut butter whiskey. And this one we're using Sheepdog. I really liked on their label, they put, instead of 70 proof, at first they wrote 70 woof, and then they crossed it out for the proof. I thought that was fun. They had some fun packaging on there. All right, we're going to do 1 shot of this, 1 ounce of our peanut butter whiskey. So I have to tell you, I thought this was going to be really sweet. And I was hoping I wasn't going to be put off by it. It's not. It has the peanut butter flavor to it, but it's not like over the top sweet by any means. There's a little bit of sweetness to it for sure. And then we're going to do our coffee liqueur. This one has a really nice aroma. If you don't have Kahlua, but you have a different brand of coffee liqueur, that's totally fine. So these colors are kind of all the same. So I'm just going to give this a little swirl to give a mix in here and to this one as well. Just to kind of give these guys a little mixture on their own. And now the fun part, we're going to add in, can you see this if should I move these bottles?
Sure.
Okay, now you can see?
Yep.
Okay, now we're going to do our pumpkin cold foam right on top. And you can put as much or as little as you'd like. I want to have a nice little pillow on top. And then I did stir this in last night when we tried this. Of course, I had to try it last night. We had to make sure we knew what we were doing with this one. Sometimes we'll do it on the fly and we'll experiment in live. But we actually made this last night. That looks great. You can add, of course, more in. And if you have extra, we did it with our regular coffee this morning. It was delightful. So this is before I mix it. It's not super pretty, so I'm going to mix it in so that it looks a little prettier. As I spill it. Oops. Sorry. Have to be a little bit more ginger with the mixing. Okay, I'm gonna pass this off to Wesley as I give him the dirty one.
Yeah, no problem. Give me that one.
There you go. Tell me what you think of that. And this ice cube is smaller. This is the ice cube I made, so it stirs a little easier.
Well, I like it better today.
You like it better today?
Yeah, it was not as stirred. This is not as stirred.
Oh, yes, I really stirred the one when I made it for the first time yesterday. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so on the nose, you do get the peanut butter on the nose. You get some of the spice of the pumpkin, but that peanut butter really comes through. But then when you taste it, you get that pumpkin cream on top. And the peanut butter kind of takes a little bit of a back seat in a good way. It's not punch you in your face peanut butter on the palate. It's a little bit more on the nose first when you smell the beverage. I think this is a winner. And I don't see why you could, you really get the coffee on the back end. That's really interesting. You really get the coffee liqueur on the back end. That was lovely. So what I was gonna say before I got sidetracked was you could serve this hot. I don't see why you couldn't serve this hot and make this like kind of a hot toddy, but like what would I call this? A hot peanut butter whiskey with pumpkin cold foam. Or at that point, it'd just be pumpkin cream. I'd call it pumpkin cream and serve it hot. I would add in some hot water though, if I was going to serve it hot, because just straight hot liquor might be a little much. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are slowly but surely on YouTube. We are slowly but surely growing. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in and sharing with your friends and family. We are here every Sunday, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much. And Instagram, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And we will see you guys next Sunday, 3:30, same happy hour channel here at All Her Cooking. Until then, thanks so much. This is good. I like it.